Action.
Hi, I'm Melanie. I am here today to tell you how to perform the perfect squat. Who here thinks that they know how to squat the correct way? Raise it high, let's go. All right. So why do we squat as humans? So the first one is we want to build muscle, not just in our quads, in our hamstrings, in our calves, but our entire body. Squats are actually one of the best core exercises you can do for yourself. When people say, I want abs, squat. It also triggers the release of testosterone and human growth hormone. So if you're wanting to build muscle in other places in your body, squat. Build muscle all over. It's functional. If you're a parent, you're picking up your kid, how often do you hear, bend with your knees, not with your back, right? If you're moving, you're helping your friend lift a couch. We bend with our knees, not with our back. You bend like this, you're going to hurt yourself. The squat is very functional. We also build mobility and stability. We are all going to age, so as we get older, we need that mobility in our joints and in our muscles. We need that stability, so we need strong legs. Also, it helps us prevent injuries. So most injuries in athletes are in ligaments, protective tissues, and in muscles, not in joints. So if you are building those muscles and that soft tissue around it, you're not going to get hurt as easily. It also helps you be more regular in the bathroom. It helps your intestines. It helps bowel movements. So lots of benefits. You want to look good, all right? So this is what a perfect squat looks like. You want your shoulders back, neck alignment neutral, focus forward. You want your chest up. You want your knees to be tracking over your toes. Your hips should be below parallel. You want your legs shoulder width apart, and you want your weight on your heels. That means you're not up on your tippy toes. You got it? So let's go over the simple steps of how to do a perfect squat. Okay? The first one is, you're going to stand with your feet a little wider than your shoulder width apart. Your hips are going to be stacked over your knees and your knees over your ankles. That means that I'm standing up straight. That's all that means is stacked. Shoulders, knees, hips, and ankles are in perfect alignment here, right? If you put a pole in front of me, it would be able to sit flat against me. You're going to roll your shoulders back. You're going to let them fall down from your ears, so you don't want to be hunched up. You're going to maintain a neutral spine. You don't want to turtle shell that, all right? Keep that spine nice and neutral, but you also don't want to arch that back too forward. So pull your belly button into your spine. From here, you're going to initiate the movement by hinging your hips backwards and sitting back like you're trying to find the seat of a chair with your hamstrings and your butt. You're going to keep sending your hips backward as the knees begin to bend. As your butt starts to stick out, you want to keep that chest up, right? Don't let it dip. Because once you start getting weight on top of you, you're going to fall over. You're going to try and hip below parallel. I don't know if you can see me. You can stand if you want to, but my hip crease is below my knees. That is the perfect squat. Now mind you, that all depends on mobility. You want to push your heels into the ground and explode up into that standing position. Common mistakes are not dropping down below parallel. So you want your hip, as I said, below the knee. If this is what's happening, you need to take a wider stance. Stretch more, be patient. Mobility takes time. Your knees drift inward. You want to push those knees out over the toes, okay? You see a lot of this. As you're coming up, those knees tracking inward, that's how you're going to injure yourself. Your body leans forward too much. If that happens, you want to set your weight in your heels. Pull your chest up. Think of your feet as spreading into the ground. If you need to, you can sit back onto a box or stacked plates to try to keep yourself more upright. Descending too quickly. If you drop too quickly, you're not staying in control of your body. Your midline, which is your core, is going to collapse. and you can blow your knee out. Not all squats are created equal. There are body weight squats, which is an air squat, which is what I'm doing right now. There are back squats, which is when you have weight on your back. That's going to keep you back loaded. It's going to be more in your glute area. Front squats, you have that weight in front of you. It takes this front rack position, a lot of mobility here. That's going to help you keep your chest up. It's more quad dominant. And then there's goblet squats, which is also a front loaded position. You'll hold a weight in front of you like this. It's just an easier, if you have mobility issues, type of squat. There are exceptions to this rule, however. Reasons for poor squat form. You have bad ankles and primarily dorsiflexion. It means your foot doesn't really want to flex much. So like, I have very poor ankles. Poor hip mobility. Means you just got to work on stretching a lot. A lot of pigeon. Pigeon is like one of the best hip stretches you can do. Muscle weakness. You might just need to build that muscle in especially your abductors here. If you have weak abductors, that's another reason why your knees might push inward. And then long femurs. I have this one in bold here because you cannot fix that. That is your body, and that is how you were created. And that is why I have a poor squat stance, because I have very long femurs and a very short torso. So I have to stand very, very wide in order to get all the way into my below parallel. This is what a squat looks like for short femurs, and this is what it looks like for long femurs. So what do? Widen your stance, externally rotate, which means turn your toes out a little bit, all right? And then raise your heels. Get a pair of lifters, which brings your feet up a little bit, and it helps you sit back a little bit more. Or you can stack plates underneath your heels. And here's some references if you're interested. Any questions?